sharing the live stream now. Great, fantastic. Welcome everybody to LinkedIn for Breakfast. Fantastic to see you all here. So this is a part of the week where we can go deep on a different part of marketing madness each week. And this week it's around LinkedIn engagement pods. So excited to kind of share with you what is it, why is it important, why you should be interested in it, and how can it affect and help you. Just before we start, I just want to share a few details with you. So let me jump on to the live. Here we go, and jump onto here and start the slideshow. So before we start anything, we always like to share with everybody what our mission is here, so you kind of know what our sinister plan is. And essentially, we want to help entrepreneurs unlock the full potential of LinkedIn as both a really powerful business development tool. That's the getting your phone ringing and inbox pinging with inquiries bit. And the second part is about brand expansion. So making more people aware of you, familiarity with your brand, your thought leadership, kind of making you more of a household name. So those two things can work really side by side, and we do that on the world's biggest social platform for business owners, which is LinkedIn. And our vision is to make this the best place on earth to learn LinkedIn for free. So do invite your friends and family. Everybody's welcome, and it's a great place to hang out. And to further support that, you can see here we've got our LinkedIn for Breakfast school community. At this point, normally Flora puts the link to this into the chat now. So just double check in the chat. And if you're watching this on a replay, just Google LinkedIn for Breakfast and you'll find our school group. It's totally free to join. And we've got replays, challenges, and also we host our very own pod within it. So that will become apparent very soon. Cool. So what is a LinkedIn engagement pod? I hear you scream. And essentially, it is a place where fellow LinkedIners, business owners or, marketers who want to get more likes, comments, shares on their content go to be able to sort of scratch each other's backs. And so how do they do that? Well, they like and comment on each other's posts, and they do that within a certain time frame after the post has gone live, and that will spike the algorithm and so then gets the uplift. And actually, the classic algorithm will look like this. You'll have an initial spike, which is the push when you start first post, right? And so the whole point of this initial push is to try and make it as high and as fast as possible, because then it plateaus whilst LinkedIn's kind of reviewing it. And then if the post is good and it feels like it wants to give you a better reach and it's had engagement to start, then it kicks on to the next stage, which is then goes up. And so when people say, I'm not sure how well the pods actually work, well, you might be getting an initial push by you getting the like and share. But if your post isn't any actual good, so i.e., yes, fine, it got some likes and posts, but if it's not going to create enough kind of virality, it doesn't get that next push. So you want to be able to make sure it's a really good post that is worth going viral, and then it will get that additional push. Let me just kind of show you that to you. So this is a live post from a piece of content that went through an engagement pod. You can see at the start, the likes and comments and views had a real kind of up hit. And that is from your natural likes and comments when you post, but also from sort of artificially enhancing that through friends that will like and comment and stuff. And then it gets up to a certain stage, plateaus a bit, and that plateauing is basically the algorithm giving it a little bit extra reach. And if it starts to see additional likes and comments from your second and third degrees, because that's where it starts to feed that post out into, then it will give you another surge of additional reach. And that's where you go from, say having 500 people commenting it to thousands, right? And it's all different. It's all relative, right? So it doesn't, if it's an exceptional post and you've got a great network, then it will go into the tens of thousands of views. Even if you're getting a few thousand views, that could also be a really good result for people. because you might have only had a few hundred on your average post. So it's just a good way of giving that initial surge. Also, it's a great way of being able to give credibility to a post. So if you're posting out and you're getting, 10, 20 people liking and commenting on your post each time, then it's also showing any potential client or anybody looking at your content, oh, actually other people are looking and viewing this stuff, right? So I'll just kind of give you a flavor of how to join a pod, and we'll go through this. So there's public pods versus private pods, and what I mean by that is that the public ones you just go find, say a Facebook group, join a Facebook group that does posts and likes and comments. Join that. You don't know who's in there, but you just kind of like and comment on people's posts, and they'll like and comment on yours, and you will get, a variety of people interested in it and giving you a help as long as you're putting in you should get back. Whatever you do, do not join a group on LinkedIn and then start trying to do an engagement pod on it. And the reason why is that obviously LinkedIn can see that, and so it will see that you're trying to artificially game their system, and so you don't want to do that. You wouldn't do that in daylight, right? So that's the whole point. The better way, I think, of doing it is joining a private pod. Something like setting up a WhatsApp group for you and your closest kind of business colleagues and work colleagues and friends. And that WhatsApp group you just post in each time you post. Excuse me, sorry, frog in my throat. Hang on. And so when you're posting into that, then you'll be able to see it in a WhatsApp group and you'll be able to like and comment and post on it. Also, you've got other places like, for example, LinkedIn for Breakfast, where we run a pod and we actually like and comment on people's posts. So let me just show you a few of those examples so it can bring it to life. So here is how you would find a LinkedIn engagement pod on Facebook. Simply go into the search and type in LinkedIn engagement pod. And actually, I've got this set up as a search in here at the moment. And here we go, engagement pod. And you can see here, so Instagram daily engagement pod, Instagram, so that you can do sort of Instagram stuff or engagement pods or Facebook ones, or there'll be TikTok and LinkedIn ones in here. And so Boost in here. So you just want to kind of look at who's in here, how many posts are they putting out, and actually how well it works. And if you just type in the word LinkedIn, that will give you a few suggestions, and they make sure they're in groups. And so you go, here you go, LinkedIn engagement pods, and there's 10 posts a day. So this could be a good post to go. And so you can see there's some posts in here and people are sharing links and getting updates and available. Although I can see this is, you got to be careful when you go into this because it looks like there's a little bit of people kind of almost starting to spam these groups, and this becomes the problem with this is that you just don't know who else is in these groups. So you may be posting your content to get likes and shares, but actually is it the right sort of people? Whereas I like the idea, of course I would do because it's a group that we run, but I like the idea of doing it privately and in somewhere with a safe environment. So if you're LinkedIn for group, and again, if you're not part of this, it's free to join. So I'll just chuck this into the chat one more time. Bam. And in here, you'll see if we scroll down, this is one of our last pods. So one day ago, we had an engagement pod, and we do it twice. We do one pod for B2C, so it's business to consumer, stroke B to SB. So that stands for business to small business. And the whole point of that is that it's for people who are selling directly to consumer and directly to small business. And by the fact that those people are inside LinkedIn for Breakfast means that they're a business owner looking to be able to grow on LinkedIn. So can you see how I'm kind of already giving you a better audience to make sure that you're engaging with? And look, 514 comments. So what happens here, if anybody's not involved in it, you see Peter here has posted his post here, and you can see he's got a number of people that are liking and sharing on his post here, which is great, right? And then so Richard here's liking and commenting on theirs, and we're getting more likes and posts in here. So you can see how the help and the support happens from this. And we go look at Zena's post, for example, and before you know it, you can go down to here and look at these lovely likes and comments here. And this predominantly has been brought about by us pod members helping her and giving this these sort of likes and comments, which then gives her post a boost, right? So this is there. Now, if you are selling into corporate, then we got a different pod, which is pod B2 Corp here. And so these are all the people on here that are selling into corporates and they are liking and sharing on these posts like this. So you're getting the actual additional kind of uplift from this if they're liking and sharing into corporate, right? So that helps and you can get that upside from that. Yeah. So that's how the engagement pods work, and certainly something that I would recommend getting involved in. It's a nice way to be able to get more likes and help. If you want to set up a WhatsApp group, again, you could do that. I have a WhatsApp group that I'm part of, and we again like and share and comment on each other's posts. And though that group is for a slightly different set of business owners, and they're more like influencers. And so we've all gathered together because we've got decent reach, and that decent reach obviously will help each other out. So really, really nice way of working. But it's obviously it's manual. So when you do it, you want to make sure that you want to be a good pod member. And what does a good pod member actually look like? Well, it's someone that's going to write more than a couple of words. So instead of writing great post, we want you to actually write more than a couple of words, like something, some sort of content that is, a little bit more thoughtful, shows you read the post, gives a better signal to LinkedIn that that post is getting engaged on. Also, something like use one of the different reaction buttons. So instead of just giving a thumbs up, what about giving a light bulb or one of those audience applauding signals? Because that will show that you've done more than just like the post, which again is another good signal that it's not being done artificially. And also try not to be generic, like great article, thank you, it may be over 5 words, which is what we're asking for, but actually it means nothing. So do try and do something better. So we've got a bit of a formula here, which could be something like, I agree, insert, and then you copy the pane that they have in the post. I had that experience too, and I love your thoughts on, and then you can insert this solution. Alternatively, jump onto ChatGPT and simply just use this kind of post type prompt here, which actually I can chuck into the chat here if you're interested in this. And this just gives a nice simple prompt. And yeah, did you know actually one of the interesting things we can look at with ChatGPT is you can take a screenshot, right? So if I go into here and I go, I'll put the prompt into the message here, and then where it says copy and paste the whole post, I actually can just go print screen, and just print the actual screen from it, and it would read it. So there you go. So I can just print that and work it that way. So that's quite an interesting way of doing it. I know it's just, it's not hard to copy and paste from it, but in case you ever thought so. And now I can get a nice comment here. So lovely post here. It's amazing how clear there. And you can just simply copy that and go into here, comment this back, job done. Now, I know that obviously there's a part of this that you go, well, actually, where's the authenticity in this? Well, we're hanging out in LinkedIn for breakfast, networking with each other. I am scanning this. I am seeing what she's saying. And so it's nice and easy for me to make that post. And then when I talk about which different like button I'd use, so instead of just going like, I could then do this, or I could do a care one, because I think you can, she's talking about clean and space and all the rest of it. So actually it's kind of a bit more of an appropriate emoji. And so that just gives a bit more of a blend. So you can see how that works really, really nicely. Yeah. So that's it. We're helping each other out. We're sharing, and we're working towards a common goal, which is getting better reach on our posts. So how do we get the post out of them? Well, really, we want to think about the quality of your post. We saw that initial uplift. Well, you're going to get that with a post, but then it plateaus. And then to get the second uplift, it must have had engagement plus also worthy. of going viral. So we always say make sure it's easy to read or short to watch, right? And so if it's a video, great, that videos can work well for this as well, but just make sure it's really easy to get their teeth into. Encourage actual comments by asking questions at the end, like you will get natural, because also we're trying to get natural commenters. And if you're not getting those, it won't go viral because it needs that to do the second phase of the post's lifetime. So ask the question, say, hey, if you've had this experience, give us the top three reasons why, boom, boom, boom. So you're encouraging people to comment and like on your post. Try and use three or fewer hashtags just to try and really focus on just a narrow set of topics and incorporate those topics into your post as keywords as well, because it's looking, the algorithm is looking for why and who it wants to share this content to. So if it knows someone, so Zena just posted there, she talks a lot about ADHD. So so someone who has interests and seems to consume ADHD related content, then if she had ADHD as a hashtag and she uses the word within the post, then it is likely to show it to that sort of person who therefore becomes more likely to engage in it and read it. And so then that creates the algorithm, right? And also remember that an engagement on your post can be just if someone's scrolling on the phone, can be someone pausing and reading because it tracks that data, and your linger time is an algorithmic point. So the linger, the time that you're actually staying looking at that post, that actually is part of what the algorithm is looking for, and so that will help. So giving a nice post, giving that the kind of short bullet points people can scan through and scroll through your post, a nice picture, of course, we all love a selfie or a picture of you out and about. That really does help. And only tag people into the post who are likely to respond. So if I tag Richard Branson to one of my posts and he doesn't comment on it, then it's going to have a negative effect on my content than a positive, particularly if I'm tagging lots of people because it's trying to game the system, right? So if you're going to tag someone, make it very likely that they're going to respond to you. And also save the outbound link. So don't link out to other content within the post, put that in the comment section. Because if you put it in the comment section, that won't have a negative effect. If you put it in the actual post, then it will do. And you can reference the fact it's in the comment section. The only caveat with that is that if the outbound link is actually to another post on LinkedIn or to an event that you've posted on your LinkedIn or to a group that is a LinkedIn group, that's fine because you're keeping them within the walled garden of LinkedIn. If you are linking outside of LinkedIn, then it will have a negative impact on reach. Cool. Makes sense? Great stuff. So what makes a bad post? Avoid posting too frequently. So, and this is kind of, more than every 3 hours. I reckon 3 times a day is your absolute max that you should post, and that's going some, right? Twice a day probably is fine. Once a day is perfect, right? So don't ever think that once a day is ever too much. It's never too much. Most of the big influencers out there will be posting a couple of times a day, if not 3 times a day. But if you're getting a lag on engagement, then just ramp it back down again. But definitely not any more than that. And don't have any two more tags. Also, tags like hashtag comment, hashtag like, hashtag follow, hashtag pod is not going to be good. It's telling it that you're trying to game the system. So don't do that. And actually, there is a grammar and spelling part to the algorithm. So if it's really badly put together and capitals in the wrong place and spelling is incorrect and all the rest of it, then LinkedIn wants to share quality content. And if your content is not quality, because of those minor errors, that will have a detrimental effect. So don't do that. Okay. Right. And so here's the cool bit, right? And a lot of people love this bit. So just stick around because this is how you can automate it if you want to. Because with great power comes great responsibility here, guys. Okay. Because here is Link Boost. And Link Boost is cool. It's a free, it costs my favorite number, which is free. So linkboost.co. It is a Chrome extension. So you need to be in Chrome and therefore you download it and it becomes a Chrome extension. And I give you a full demo on this thing, right? So I don't use, so caveat, I don't use it that often, but I do use it. That's my Facebook ads. So we don't need to look at that. Where are we? Okay, good stuff. Um, so, link boost. You go onto the site like this, you press get link boost now, and it will add it in as a Chrome extension. So you'll be able to see it on the side here when you look at your Chrome extension, right? When you get in, you'll get into a place like this and you can have a free profile, right? So we get into here, you can see what your social selling index is. You can see that it's got your profile and you've updated your profile, right? You can have 3 posts through this per month in one pod. This is the try it before you buy it, and then the premium plan you can do more. Now, if you do like it and it works well, then go for it. And I'd almost say for people to set up their own link boost for their own pod within there because it's a good idea, really. But when we're talking to clients about this, we're saying, right, let's be sensible about this and just try it. So you've got to first of all find a pod. Okay, so click the find the pod and you need to find something that you feel is right. So for me, I might go UK because I'm trying to look at LinkedIn users. And now what I want to do is look at how many people are in these pods and think, well, actually, how big is the pod that I want to be? And so there's one here which is 54 members, so that's cool. And it auto approves new members. So that might be something that I'll be interested in. So I'll go and join this pod here. And I can see here that it's had 9,000 odd boosted posts. That's good. 54 members. So I go, yeah, this looks like something that I want to work with. So I go join the pod. Okay. Oh, I need to update my cookie. So that's going to create a problem for me. Let's just see to make sure that let's just try a different one just for um let's go marketing. I just want to double check that I'm not going to have. So you can see there's loads of different pods in here. Let's try. Okay, is it going to have a problem with my cookie? I wonder if I've come out of it. Manage extensions, keyboard. Oh, classic thing. I came out of it so I can demonstrate how to go into it, and now I think I've got a problem with my settings. Manage extensions. I'm not sure. I'm gonna what I might have to do is just talk you through this because I don't think that I'm going to be able to solve this straight away. Basically, the cookie problem is that I need to accept using this as my Chrome, and for whatever reason, let's just try and go and see if I can get it again. I'm already in it. So I've registered. I've logged in. I'm already logged in. Yeah. Let's just try and see if I can find it now. Sorry about this, guys. I purposely left, and now I think because I've left, it's going to create a problem for me to join a new pod. Um, well, what I can do is I can show you some old posts that I've done, and I can give you an example there. But essentially, what you do is you jump in to a pod that you are you join one of those pods and then in there you post a post or you'll share a link to a post that you've just posted in there and then it will automatically like and comment on your post. So if I show you this, so this is a post I put out a little while ago and you can see that I received this uplift in terms of engagement, likes and comments. Then it had that plateau and then it had that additional uplift, which is that kind of classic bar that we looked at. And you can see here, here's all these members of this pod that engaged on this and the comments were in here. So you can see these are the users, the status okay, the comment as was like, it's a yes, I just joined, congratulations, I know. Because you can actually work out what you want people to comment. You can actually see all these different comments and it has a really nice uplift in it, right? And you can then start to see the reach of your post, 16 likes, 8 comments on this post, and you can see the eyeballs on it. So it was a nice uplift for that post. And of course, if you're using this each day, you will see a big kind of increase in engagement. So other people are looking at this saying, oh, these actual real LinkedIn users have liked on it. All these LinkedIn users have commented on it. And it all happened lovely without me or them having to do it. Okay. So here, let's open the link to this post. I'll show you. So here was the post. Here's what it meant. Nice picture. Impression, 700 impressions, loads of comments. and you can then actually go back and start to comment back to these people based upon what they've said, which is a nice way of doing it, right? Um, Sorry about not being able to show you the exact. So I was going to just post in a pod. Let me just try one more time just to join that pod. No, it's not liking me. So let me come back into the room. So what I want to say with this is that automating this thing can be a very quick way of being able to do it. But if you're going from no real engagement to bucket loads of engagement, you will have potentially a flag that will get raised by LinkedIn because of that. And you've got to be careful of kind of gaming it too quickly. So you've got to have a slower ramp and also making sure that you're commenting back on these people's comments. And you also personally are going to be someone that is going to receive a comment back. So if someone just put a solution in here, beta quick Chrome. I set that Chrome. Okay, fine. So I'll answer that question in a second. So you will, so you will actually be posting and commenting on someone else's post. So if you join a pod that's on Link Boost or there's something else called LemPod, if you are in that, you will be liking and commenting on their post and you have no control over that. But they also be liking and commenting on your post and you can control what they're commenting. So you are kind of giving them the ability to comment as you, but that's why you just check out who's in there and you trust and you look at the different posts that's put out. But it is also going to save you a lot of time and energy. So that's important. And how many people look at what you've most recently commented on when they look at your most recent activity? So that's also an important piece. Interesting, huh? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer that question from Graham. Then I'm going to talk to you guys about how you might be able to get a free LinkedIn profile audit by me or one of the team. And then we'll answer the second comment by Daniel. Okay, so first of all, so Graham here in the chat says, I'm not very technical. Quick question. If I set the Chrome browser, can I still use Safari as my main default browser? Yes. So basically, what we're saying is that you need to use Chrome to use that Chrome extension to be able to use Link Boost or other similar ones, but it doesn't need to replace your default browsers being Safari. That's no problem at all. It's just it's an extension. It's kind of the only, it's like Chrome allows you to have these different plugins. And so that's why it's got to be done through Chrome. That's it. Just simple as that. Right, guys, as mentioned, we offer to people jumping onto this and part of our continued plight to make this the best place on earth to learn LinkedIn for free. We offer these free LinkedIn profile audits. And in these audits, we're going to look at your headline effectiveness. We're going to help you with your profile photo and banner design. We're going to help you to maximize your recommendations. We're going to help you to be able to rewrite your about section as a sales letter. We're going to help you to really look at how your profile is fully, set up to generate leads, not just kind of be a glorified CV. And we're going to show you how to back up your experience and help your experience section of your profile actually sell your product for you. All of that we're going to do for free in a one-to-one call. So this is a one-to-one call that we go through with you, and we do this just to kind of give you a bit more help and advice around it. Now they do get completely booked out, and in fact, I was about to share with you this link, but this is completely gone. Look, there is no slots available. So we have a waiting list, and when slots available, we will contact you and reach out to you to say, hey, do you want to get onto one of these free slots? And it's a 45-minute full value session. So if you want to be on that waiting list, just type in audit in the chat and we can add you into that. As I say, it's completely free. There's no obligation for anything in there. And we go through all those LinkedIn pieces for you. So we will have to reach out to you and let you know about that. So my team will take note of the people in there. Thank you already for the people who are putting the word audit in there. And we will get you onto that waiting list. Just type audit into the chat. Cool. Okay, great stuff. So we've got another question here. Just wondering, are we allowed to connect with others who are in this session? I think a good way to grow in each other. Right. So in terms of connecting with people who are in this session, the pod is a great way to network. So if you look at LinkedIn for Breakfast and you come into here, this is a great way to network. by actually liking, commenting, and talking and seeing what other people are posting. But we also do something called community corners. So what we do in our community corners, you can see here, so different community corners. So every Friday, we post in this group, and one Friday we'll ask you to share your website, another one will ask you to share your LinkedIn profile, another one will ask you to share your LinkedIn newsletter for Community Corner. Other times that we ask people, what are they listening? What's their best podcast they're listening to at the moment? We ask them to share about what's business books they're reading at the moment. So we are always trying to foster that relationship between community members. In terms of just DMing everybody and spamming people with your offer, obviously that's not cool and you get kicked out of the group if you're doing that. But if you want to be able to, promote what you do, we'll write a nice post about it and stick it in the pod because we'll read it and we'll also help you to promote it. That's the better way of doing it, right? Just posting like this and putting like this gets you kicked group. So we'll be taking this down. So don't do stuff like that. That's ridiculous. But I won't delete them. We'll have a chat. But just talk about stuff that you're doing, right? Let's be cool. Be cool, man. Be cool. Right. So further, guys, about pods. How can we help? Thoughts or even kind of stuff.
Richard, could you just clarify on the link boost? How you said, because what I gathered at the end there was that you comment on as other people on other people's posts, and other people comment on other people's as you on their posts. You just simplify
So
that.
So if you go into the pod, you're basically allowing people to use your personal LinkedIn profile to comment on their posts. And they can't log in as you and do stuff with you, but basically you all go into there. And if you post a link to your post, then it will then say, give us a list of all the comments that you want to have put onto your post. So I can say, I could ask people to say, yes, please. Or I've done it before where I say, type yes if you want to sign up for my course or whatever it is. And I've had a load of people I've gone, yes, or yes, please, you want more interest. So it shows that people are really interested in it. And then you get, you see who's on the pod, and then you get other people who are not on the pod, doing it because it gives a little bit of that herd kind of mentality. If I see lots of other people wanting, and it's not necessarily like, hey, buy my 5 grand course and just comment yes, and I'll send you the payment link. I'll do it more along the lines of who wants my free ebook on how to do X, Y, and Z, comment yes, and then yes, 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 and then you can just DM them all of those, right? It's a really nice way of doing that. So with that in mind, it means that other people will be able to write a comment and it to be commented as you. Now, I can't select that I personally want Nick to comment this. I will just upload 20 different comments that I would like people to comment, and at random, those comments will be assigned to people in that pod to comment on your post.
Right, so that's a specific thing. If you just got 20 different reactions you want, and everyone, is that in addition to you going in and using it as a pod to go and commenting on the other people in that pod, or is it the same?
Um, so no, so if you don't put comments for people to comment, then they'll just like your post.
Right. Okay.
So I can't go take your profile and run around the place commenting on people's stuff. It's just when I upload my post and I say that I want these 20 comments to be put onto my post, and then it'll be assigned randomly to you, and then other people will be uploading their posts and putting their 20 posts, and your profile might be one of those 20 people that comment on their post. Cool.
Cool. Thanks.
Okay, no worries. So that's why it comes with that kind of like caveat, right? So you've got to be comfortable with that. Cool. Further questions, guys? What do we got? Phil.
When you were talking earlier about beta small business and beta corp, just roughly how are you distinguishing those two things?
So if you're the B2C and B2 small business, when we're talking about small business, we're talking, kind of, the kind of 100, less than, less than 100 staff type businesses. We're talking about, usually we're
Okay.
talking about two, three-person businesses, owner operated, the
Okay.
sort of people that will come to these calls and be here. When we're talking about corp, we're talking, and I say that because it's difficult because then there's the middle-sized businesses, but I would probably put those in the corporate. As soon as
Because
you've got like C-suites and if you're a corporate person, then you think then corporate's like the blue chippy big stuff. If you're a small business person, you're like, well, anybody with a staff that's more than 50 people must be a corporate, right? And so it's difficult to kind of picture where that is. But
well, that's exactly why I asked because that middle tier is what we're after. So
so
thank you.
what so just explain what the middle tier what's your target audience?
Oh, I mean, in headcount terms, it could be, yeah, 20 to 200. It's scaling businesses. So you kind of not one or two or mum and pop type or even sole trading businesses, but there is some growth, and obviously, people who have 5 employees are hoping to grow to 10 to 20, and so they're of interest, but really it's that next tier of medium-sized enterprises.
What revenue wise, target revenue?
Wow, 5 million plus.
5 million plus. Yeah, I'd probably hang out probably more with the corporate posts just because of the what you'll get with the B2Cers is you'll get people who are selling into B2C. So you'll get people who are physios or people who are,
Mm.
vets or whatever it is. And so they will be commenting on your post, which you might be talking about leadership and it's different.
Yeah.
Whereas people who are corporate are doing, a lot of our corporate podders, if you like, are selling in corporate coaching, exec coaching, corporate leadership training. So that the clients that are, or the people within our pods in LinkedIn
Mm.
for Breakfast, they themselves are small business owners because that's what you need to be in. So those profiles will be people who are running small businesses profiles who are commenting on your stuff. So you probably want to attract the people who are running small businesses but have been in corporate, sell into corporate, and work in those kind of leadership pieces because they
Thank
they
you.
also like to work that way down as well for the right people.
Makes sense.
No worries. Good to see you, Phil. Fantastic. Let's take another question. By the way, guys, if you want to have that LinkedIn profile where we look at your LinkedIn profile, give you some ideas on how to improve it for conversion, absolutely for free, just type in audit into the chat. Okay, who's got another question? So Nikki in here. So what was your question, Nikki? Do you want to just unmute and just ask it if you can?
Yeah, sorry, Richard. So if we post in the LinkedIn for Breakfast pod, so like the corporate one, do the other members within that pod repost for us, or is it just that they can comment or they can like or support?
Um, So they could potentially repost it, but I think it tends to be a case that people will comment and like
Okay.
it because if they have just posted themselves, if they then do another post and another post and another post at the same time, it's going to dilute their own post that they're trying to promote through the pod. Whereas if they're in and they're commenting and liking stuff, then it's not a massive problem.
Okay, that's fair enough. Thanks, Richard.
No problem. Fantastic. Daniel, over to you, mate.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, maybe I missed the answer. I was wondering if I'm doing these post engagements, how does it affect and basically my analytical skills, right? If I just go through my last post impressions and blah blah blah, and then I take a screenshot and I feed this into my GPT, and then I tell him to analyze my post, which is driving the highest interest. Obviously, that would bias and distort and the whole analysis. So how do I go about that?
So you basically don't want to distort the analytics of how many posts, how your posts are doing because you're artificially enhancing it, right?
Yeah, and it would make sense in a way, like it would average it out if I do it with every post. But if I do
Mm.
it just once a week or twice a week, then this post will be like a standout. So do I exclude it then from then? from the analytics, or how do I what
Well,
I do?
I think you just look at the I think you look at the impressions as being a key metric because this should help your impressions, and that will show you how further it's going to go. But also, I think don't get through paralysis through analysis. I think if you're trying to look at every single post and worry about those sort of things, I think the most important thing you should be looking at is how many leads am I getting? How many appointments am I getting booked? How many people show up to my appointments? How many sales do I make? They're they're the four key things, and in your RTM dashboard that you want to be looking at each week, they're the big four chapters. And the other stuff is the little kind of building blocks, the breadcrumbs, the clues. But let's not. I wouldn't get too bogged down into the weeds. I'd be looking at more. Well, actually, lead gen. Really, how can I get more of that? What am I doing with these posts to generate more leads? Why are my posts not performing leads if they're not? Or which post got me the most amount of leads?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Also, not getting overly crazy about how many people actually comment on that, right? Because many people actually don't comment, like in real life. They're either interested or they're not interested,
Exactly.
and some posts have a better reach than others. But I'm not sure, like if it really translates to it was words of a post. It's just whatever reason it
Yeah.
didn't. Mm.
Yeah, exactly. So think about what did well for leads, and when we look at leads as well, I think I think an important thing to do is if I go into say, oh hang on, let's go into my LinkedIn and let's go to my analytics, and we're just going to go into past 360 days. So let's just look at one of my posts that did particularly well. So here you go. So this one worked well. So if I look at the analytics for this post,
Mhm.
what I really love about this is that I can actually see that I get from a post that went viral, using some of these tactics, the followers gained from this post is 51. So I generated 51 more followers, which potentially you could see as leads. But I also, because I'm not worried about these reactions and comments so much, I also had this premium custom button interactions. What is that premium custom button? Well, it's the button that's on my LinkedIn profile, and I got 49 of those. And so when I think about what that is, below this post, you'll see view my LinkedIn newsletter. That's the premium custom button. And so they click that, which means that I got 49 people that subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter, which means that only I can see that and I can go out to these people and I can comment and message them. And so when you look at leads, there's the leads. There's the 49 leads. And so that's the only ones that I really should be caring about because of course that's what this helped generate. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
And just to break this down, guys, like why did this post do well? A great headline, caught the eye, made alluding enough to move on to the next stage. Easy to consume text with tick points and emojis, like really easy. And nice picture. A picture. I shouldn't really comment that it's a nice picture. I'll let your own impressions do that. Not very good chips, but picture was all right. And so then the comments in here, and also then what we did is we made sure you can see on each one of these comments that I very quickly commented back and stuff like this, which was thanks to this. What are you working on? Then great. I asked a question in the comment. He commented back. So I got a comment. I commented back. I asked a question. He got a comment back. He commented back. Right. Again, I then commented back, and then I said, "What's the link to the podcast?" Bam! But I knew he would do because, of course, he's using it as a way to show his podcast. That's okay. And then he commented back. So I got 5 for the price of one comments because I quickly commented back and asked him a question, right? Same here. So previous replies. Yes, Crazy right. So he's going in there. Actually, she followed me up actually on that. So you can see how it's just working through it, and also trying to get people that have got good influence that are going through. Great. Yeah. So there you go. Few little tips there for you. And then people said the LinkedIn for Breakfast comment pod, because we want to get people engaging right after the point of post, if you go into the calendar, we run our pod always at 12 p.m. UK time on day, and we have this actually as something you can calendar in here, so you can set it into your calendar. And we always work on 12 o'clock. So we do this for an hour and a half or so. So we post, so it's not an event, we just post the pod into the group. You then jump into there, put your pod link in, like and share on everybody's posts. And if you want more info on pods, we also have another recording in here, training on post, removing tracking codes to avoid penalties, which actually is an important point I'll just quickly make with you guys. So if I want to share this post into a group, I can take my post link, so copy link to post, and I might go onto my LinkedIn for Breakfast pod like this, and I want to go and share. So if I go down to the last comment, I go share and say, hey, here's this. This has a tracking code. So everything after this question mark actually relates it to me. So if I want LinkedIn to not know that I am sharing someone else's pod, if I want LinkedIn to not know that I am the person sharing it and then other people are clicking on my share, I just want to show that they've come in directly from that. I need to delete everything after, including the question mark, to create the clean link with no tracking links on it. And that will help as well in terms of your reach for the pod. Make sense? So do that. So there's a bit of training in the group there for you. Cool. Happy sticking around for another 5 minutes. If you want to get an audit, just do say in the chat. Thanks to the people that have already put it in. Who's got a final question or so? Question. Any further questions that we've got here, guys? Let me just kind of minimize what I'm looking at now. Right. Who's up for giving it a go? We've got another. Who hasn't tried our pods before? Who's going to give it a go now? We got pretty much everybody now who's going to do it. Great. All right, my convincing here is done. Well, guys, I hope that's been of help. I really do enjoy sharing these, and please do help us to grow this group because it always does make a difference. Simon Banks is here. Fantastic. Good to see you, Mr. Banks. Welcome to the group. And if you haven't tried it, Nikki, do jump in and try it on Tuesday. It's really worth doing. So until then, guys, I will conclude today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you either on a LinkedIn profile audit or on